never grows back. I don't know how they invented it. I don't know if some guy headbutted a microwave and his eyebrows fell out. I don't know. I don't care, right? I love it.
Haley.
You guys have a friend who can't just...
Ow. Can you stand up over there? Oh.
Your headbutt, you go. Oh, I almost just fell over.
Yes.
Hi to the one person watching us do this.
I can't get it right today. There's not gonna be me here.
Well, that's weird. Stand up.
Yeah, but I'm gonna start laying down. Oh, you can't see me, right?
Oh, you can see you.
Can you?
I think so. Yeah. Just trying to do it without doing that, but whatever. Yes, you can see you.
There's only one person watching you. Yes. Is that good?
Oh, it's kind of hard. It's kind of dark. Your screen's dark. Your screen was just dark. You can't see your mat. You won't be able to see like your feet.
What if we put it up here? I don't know today.
Freezing.
Is that better?
Yes, you see your head. That's very nice. Oh God, come here, Peggy. No, you don't want to. No.
It's got you on in here then.
It's gonna be hot yoga again. Great job, Mom.
What was freezing this morning?
It always gets so hot by the end of class, or like I'm like always sweating by the end, just because it's so, like the temperature in the room is always going up. You forget that when you close the door and the window to keep out the sound, the heat also gets trapped in here with us, and then it's like a hot sauna.
Yeah, it's pretty hot.
Last time, even Puggy wasn't in her blanket. She was laying on top of it, like.
Well, last time it was actually hot. Today I had to buy the fire. There's snow.
Fucking snowed. I came down this morning and I was like,
There's literally snow.
Yeah, Piggy's peeing on the deck again. There's like less than an inch of snow and Piggy's peeing on the deck. You are so fat. Ow! God, you're so heavy. She's really fat. What's wrong with her today? You know she's gonna be crying all class. She's very needy. I think Fluffy's asleep tonight. It's asleep right now. That would be good. He's feeling sad. I think maybe she got whatever Fluffy has. Does she really know fever? Oh, we need someone to clean your eye boobies for you. I have Fluffy trained that every morning she comes over and she lays her head next to me and then she lets me clean her eye boobies. Pug really needs her eye boobies cleaned. Do you see it? It's turning to Zola. Oh my God, dickhead. She's crazy. You see him trying to clean her eyeballs. She has this giant eye goop in her eye. Just do it. There you go. That's gross.
Come here, Puggy. Yes.
Always make us do the mean things to the dog. It needs
All
to be
right.
done.
Let's get started.
Yeah, now it's clap.
Hmm?
Yeah, now it's clap. Most of this morning.
All right. Let's see what that is on my computer that's making beeps. See if we can turn that off.
What are you doing? It's not on your computer.
Yeah, it was.
It's Dad's phone.
No, there was a notification that popped up. All right, let's get started. Let's get started on our backs. So come on down. You can leave your feet down, knees up. That's comfortable. Otherwise, full Shavasana. Hi. Take a little wiggle. Get comfortable. Maybe wiggle the neck a little side to side. And just start to land on the ground. Find your breath. And bring your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. And just tune in, starting to do a body scan. Notice how your muscles feel. Notice how your breath feels in your body. And then we often do the question, how am I emotionally? So check in and see if you can answer that question without I am. So just kind of noticing emotions present without becoming the emotions. Noticing maybe some happiness, some sadness, but not I am happy or I am sad. Just noticing what is present. And then start to lengthen the breath, allowing the breath to arrive more fully in the body. And you can bring your hands to your stomach. That's comfortable. Allowing your breath to fill more fully into the torso. And then bring your knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug and you can rock it side to side. And then take your feet up towards the ceiling and take some wiggles with your feet, little ankle circles, point and flex the feet, wiggle the toes. Just connecting with getting the feet up above the heart. And then connect with pushing your hips down into the ground and pushing your rib cage down into the ground. And you can allow for that little space in the lower back, that curve that's naturally there. Bring your stomach muscles tight towards your spine and inhale as you slowly lower the right leg towards the ground. Exhale as you draw it back up. Inhale as you lower the left and exhale as you draw it back up. Starting to move with your breath, but really focusing on bringing the stomach muscles towards the spine, trying to generate some heat in the lower core. And then bring your knees in towards the chest. And again, give yourself a little hug, maybe rock it side to side. Take your feet back up to the ceiling. Keeping your shoulders on the ground, take your arms up overhead. Allow them to hover just above the ground. Hold on to your partner if you have one. Squeeze the stomach muscles back down towards the spine. Squeeze the hips down into the ground and the rib cage down into the ground. Hold them firmly, and then slowly lower the feet down towards the ground. Try to make this all in the core and not the lower back. Hold and hover. And then take little slow up and down kicks with your legs, as slow as you can, still keeping this in the core. If you're starting to feel your lower back work, bring your feet a little bit higher up off the ground. And then bring your knees in, rock it side to side. Give yourself a little hug.
Keep doing that on my face. The like snog thing she does.
Take your feet long, point your toes, and take your arms up overhead. Stretch from your fingertips to your toes. Nice long stretch, and then take your feet all the way over to the right, and your shoulders and arms over to the right, opening up the left side body. Big banana shape on the ground. And slowly slide over onto the other side. Back through center and bring the knees in towards the chest again. Then go back to core work. So bring your knees right above your hips. Bring your ankles even with your knees. Squeeze the core. Push the hips down into the ground, the rib cage into the ground. We're going to move with our breath. Take the arms up overhead to hover. You're going to... Okay. We're going to lengthen the left leg and the left arm. Bring the right hand to push into the thigh and then switch. Bring the hand back to the thigh, right arm long, left leg long. Squeezing the core. So same arm, same leg, lengthen. And then hands back to thighs, squeeze and hold. Switch. Try to follow the breath.
Same arm, same. Are we crossing this?
No, hands go to thighs.
Okay.
Start to concentrate with the dog.
She's sitting on my head.
Squeeze in the core. Now bring the knees in. Give yourself a little hug. Rock it.
Are you burning something?
So you want to go see if you can take that off. You got to use something with your hands. You can't use it. It's gonna be hot. So take your hands on your knees. Take your knees in big circles. Thinking about your hips. Opening up your hips.
It's really so scary.
Then we're gonna have our knees above our hips again. We're gonna hold our feet even with our knees. Squeeze our core.
Where do I put it where pokes up and burns?
Just put it behind. Hold your knees here, hover. Bring your stomach real tight towards your spine. And then cross our ankles. And then take our knees a little bit over towards the right. Squeezing our core. The left hip can pop off the ground. Hold and hover.
I think you're hotboxing me.
And then bring your knees back to center. And over to the other side. Squeeze, hold, and hover.
Oh, I'm gonna get my knee a candle. Oh, this is like
Back to center. Switch the cross of your ankles. Still squeezing the muscles of the stomach towards the spine. Over to the side.
It's high stakes yoga, man.
It's
Really stressful.
back to the center and over to the other side.
Got dog candles and dogs.
Back to center, bring your knees in. Give yourself a little hug. And then roll on over to a side and come on up to a seat. It is like crazy hug.
It's really
Smoky.
smoky. I'm pretty sure you can probably see it on the camera. It's so smoky in here.
That's crazy. That was on there. I cleaned out the fire because I thought we'd never have to use it again. All right, come on up to a seat. Feel your hips even on the ground. We're gonna move really slow today, just moving through all the points that we typically hold tension and moving with our breath. So we're gonna think about our shoulders for a little bit. Bringing our shoulders, push our shoulders down as far as they can go down. And bring them all the way up. And then take them in a big slow circle.
Why are you looking at me with bug eyes?
And then back the other way. And then bring our shoulders normal height and pull them all the way forward. Roll them forward. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then roll them all the way backward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then let the shoulders go. Bring the head down, chin towards the chest. Slowly bring the right ear over to the right shoulder. Feel the tension on the left side of the neck. Slowly bring the chin back through center and over to the left side. And then back to center, chin up to neutral and then all the way up to the ceiling, feeling the front of the neck. Try not to drop the skull back. Back to center. Pull your chest all the way back and then all the way forward. Little cat-cows. Inhaling chest forward, exhaling chest back.
Just like this.
And bring your hands to prayer. Interlace your fingers. Pull your fingers, locking together. And then pull left to right with your chest. Just kind of opening up the shoulders. You can take little circles. And then let that go and we'll come on over to a tabletop. So once you get into tabletop, your toes can be tucked or flat. Tabletop is forward for your inhale, and your exhale is connecting with the ground and sending the hips backwards. Inhaling forward and exhaling hips backwards. You can take this in a circular motion. Explore what feels good. Moving with your breath, connecting with the ground.
I'm just stuck out the dog door for fresh air.
There's always something. I didn't even know that was back there. It's because I cleaned the fire.
I didn't even notice for a really long time because I was like looking up, I guess. And then when I
So
looked
this
inside,
feels good. Moving, inhale forward and exhale backwards. Stay with that, or if you want to start to pump it up, start to squeeze all of the stomach and the chest and bring it forward to a little baby push-up. And then exhale back. And you can stay simple. or start to build even more. Inhaling, forward, little push-up. Exhaling, tucking the toes, sending the hips back. Inhaling, tabletop, little push-up. Exhaling, down dog shape. Slow and focused and in control. Feeling your own body. And then everybody meet in a child's pose. Come on back to a tabletop. We're going to turn our fingers. So some people may need to bring their hands a little closer to their knees. We're going to turn our fingers towards us, opening up the front side of our wrists. Do this with care. Slowly bring your fingertips back to regular, and then turn your fingertips under on the left hand, opening up the left hand, front of the left hand. Switch. Right fingertips come towards the knees. And then switch. Bring your forearms down. Begin with a nice strong setup. So forearms come down, pull the arms apart. You can stay here, starting to just feel the arms firing up, or tuck the toes, squeeze the stomach really tight towards the spine, start to lift and hover the knees. Squeeze and hold. And if you like, you can send the heels back and start to have straight legs. Breathe and hold, forearm plank. You can stay breathing and holding. You can go down to child's pose and come back up. Or if you like, little soft movements coming forward. Inhale forward, exhale backwards. Nice and strong and in control. Inhale forward, exhale backwards. Then lower the knees. Send the hips backwards, hands still connected to the ground, sending your shoulders down towards the ground. This may keep your hips a little higher. Opening up underneath the shoulders. You can take the tension out of the neck and let the head come down. And come on back to tabletop. And we're going to do bird dog, moving with the breath. So we're going to do opposite arm and leg. Inhale, opposite arm and leg up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Nice and slow and controlled. Just trying to squeeze the stomach tightly towards the spine. Bring it back down to tabletop. Tuck the toes and send the hips all the way up to down dog. So finding a down dog shape, whatever that is for you, pedaling out the legs, maybe taking those hips side to side, opening up the side body. Find some movement that feels good. Trying to stay connected to a nice long and slow breath. And then holding a down dog, connecting with your head below your heart. Feeling your hands firm on the ground, maybe bending the knees a little deeper and squeezing the core. We're going to take down dog push-ups, nice and slow and controlled. So squeezing the core, bending the arms, little slow movements, little slow, controlled push-up movements here. And then lower the knees back to tabletop. Slowly lower with control all the way down to crocodile. Forehead down, one hand on top of the head. Sorry. One hand down, the other hand on top, forehead down, crocodile, shimmy the hips. And surrender into the ground. Find your breath. Can you soften a little more around the jaw and the shoulders, the neck? I'm going to move and breathe with the back line here. So bringing the hands in under the shoulders at first. We're going to inhale as we lift up and exhale as we lower. Keeping the hips, inhale up, exhale lower. Keeping the hips pressed firmly into the ground and engaging the core a little bit. And trying to lift the shoulders, not the skull. And keeping the head in line with the spine. Trying to lift from the shoulders. And then if you like, start to bring the arms up. Drawing the elbows back towards the spine. And then bring it back to crocodile. Forehead down, shimmy the hips, and then let go. And this time we're going to do the same movement like bird dog we were doing just before. So take the arms out straight from the shoulders. We're going to lift opposite arm and opposite leg. So inhale, lift left arm, right leg. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, lift right arm, left leg. Exhale, bring it down. And rather than thinking about getting really high off the ground, think about lift and get longer. You squeeze your glutes a little more. Find some more muscles in your back. So you're using muscles in your back more evenly. And then bring it back down. Forehead down, shimmy the hips. Leaving the left hand underneath the forehead. Bring the right heel towards the right glute. Maybe reach the right hand back. If you can, grab the inside of that right foot. Once you grab the foot, push the foot into the hand. See if you can fire up the quad a little more on that right leg. You can stay here, or you can play with lifting the leg up a little, finding a little more stretch, feeling where your body feels it most. Slowly release the foot if you have it. And the right hand down. Left heel comes towards the glute. Left hand maybe reaches back for the foot. Slowly release the foot. Bring the hands in underneath the shoulders. So elbows under the shoulders, sorry. Back to forearm. So gauging your arms nice and strong first. Tuck the toes. Squeeze the stomach towards the spine. And then lift the hips up. We're back to that forearm prep. And then maybe lift the knees. Full forearm plank. Breathe and hold. And you can stay here if you like. You're going to tiptoe your feet in towards your shoulders. Dolphin. Allow the head to come down. Take the tension out of the neck. Engaged and strong in the arms and shoulders. Breathe. You can stay in dolphin. If you're feeling nice and strong, you can meet me in child's, or you can take dolphin push-ups. So we're going to take our head a little tiny bit forward, as if we're taking our nose about an inch forward, and then back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Only move as far as you feel strong. Your muscles are engaged. You're not just rocking through any joints. And then lower the knees and find a child's pose. Did you just go straight to child's?
I did a few.
I
did a few, one other one. Child's pose.
Come on back to tabletop. We're going to feel pretty firm in our hands here. So a little bit of weight in our hands, focusing on our arms. And we're just going to take shoulder circles. So nice, slow, controlled shoulder circles with a little bit of weight on our arms. Regular tabletop, tuck the toes, and find a down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high, reach from the toes all the way to the fingertips, stretching, reaching long, getting longer. Bend the knee, bring it towards that right elbow and hover. Hollow out the belly, core strong, shoulders strong, breathe. And then bring the right hand, right foot behind the right hand. Find your low lunge. So right, inhale, forward into a low lunge. Exhale, sending the right leg towards straight. Finding some movement with breath. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. Squeezing and finding as many muscles as you can in your legs. And that right foot, starting to use the core. Starting to feel the hips. And then come forward so the weight is on the right leg. Option to lower the knee here. We're going to open up this right hip. So you may want to have your knee down just so that the pressure is not so strong on this right leg. We're going to place the weight onto the right foot and open up the right knee to the right side. Only go as far as you feel strong here. So your foot is strong. Muscles on the right side of the leg are engaged and active. You're not just flying into your knee joint here. or opening up the hip with strong muscles. And then you can take a little soft movement here. You can also keep this in with your leg lifted, your back leg lifted in a low lunge position. And then bring it back to regular low lunge with the back leg lift up, back knee lower. Foot is flat. Plant that back foot on the ground and then feel like you're trying to pull it towards you without letting it move, maybe even lifting that back knee off the ground a little bit. Starting to feel front of the left hip flare up. Lower the knee if you lifted it, tuck the toes, regular low lunge. Squeeze the legs in the core and come on up as you inhale. Rise up to high lunge. It's good to breathe up here. There's a lot of smoke in here. Squeezing the legs. Find your base. In the middle, then breathe here. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale, bring the arms and the torso forward. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale, forward.
It's really hot. Sweating out whatever it is you're supposed to sweat out in hot yoga.
Bring it down, frame out the front foot. Press into the hands, send the right foot to meet the left high plank. Breathe and hold. Lower the knees. Send the hips back. Child's pose. Child's pose, arms active or arms soft. Yogi's choice. Breathe and hold. Bring it back through tabletop, tuck the toes, hips up and back, down low. Inhale, lift the left leg high, stretch long from the fingertips to the toes. And take a deep inhale as you exhale. Bring the left knee towards the left elbow. Squeeze and hold and hover. And then lower the left foot behind the left wrist. Our inhale is a low lunge. Exhale, sending that right leg towards straight. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Then lower the back knee and tuck the toes. You're going to send this left knee open towards the left side. Engage leg, and you can find some movement here. Pressing down into the left foot to help fire up the outside of this left leg. And you can keep your right knee down or lift and hover. And lower the back knee if you lifted it, untuck the toes. We're going to bring this left leg back in front of the hip. We're going to pull on the back foot. So press the back foot into the ground. And then feel like you're trying to pull it towards you, activating the front of this right hip. Also the front of the leg. Breathe and pull. And lower the knee if you lifted it, tuck the toes, squeeze the legs, and take a deep inhale as you rise on up to high lunge on the other side. Find your base, squeeze your core. Inhale up, exhale, torso forward, arms back. Inhale, scoop up fresh. Exhale, sweep away things no longer needed. Scoop up fresh. Exhale, frame out the front foot. Press into the hands, left foot meets right, high plank, breathe and hold. Stay in high plank, breathing and holding. Meet me in child, or if you would like a challenge. Bend it to the knees a little bit so you can make sure your core is really engaged. And you're gonna see, you might need to bring your hands a little bit further forward of your shoulders. You can slowly lower down with control to forearm plank. And then slowly see if you can come up to high plank. Slowly lower forearm plank. Slowly lift. So I don't know if you could see it right there. I did right arm, left arm. You're gonna try and see if you can do both at the same time. That's the challenge. So squeezing the core. Squeeze it. Yeah, I got it. Lower the knees. Come on. Oh, you did. That was awesome. Apparently, if you do sound effects, it helps. Lower your hips. Find yourself a child's pose.
Punky noises, they're all powerful.
So from here, we're going to do rabbit's pose. Really important for rabbit's pose not to think about putting weight on our head or on our cervical spine. So we're opening up our thoracic spine here. So we're going to place the top of our head down on the ground, but not any weight down. So you bring all the weight into your hands. You place your forehead down and then roll onto the top of your head. Still the weight is on your hands, not your head. So squeeze in the core nice and tight. Start to feel like you're opening up the thoracic spine. Weight in the hands, nice and strong. And sending the hips up until you feel like you're opening through the thoracic. In between the shoulder blades. Breathe and hold with your world upside down. A little tiny pressure on the top of your head. Not much. Very, very careful with your cervical spine. If you're feeling anything pinchy, immediately come out of this and return to child's pose. Nerve pinches, tingles, anything that's like sharp and sudden is a pain that we do not ignore. Breathing with your world upside down. And then really pushing into your hands. Lift your head up, send your hips backwards, and return to a child. Find your breath. Catch your thoughts. Return to tabletop and then to down dog. We're going to look towards our hands and take 1,000 tiny steps until we can get our feet outside of our hands. So about mat width apart. Kaylee is groaning because she knows what that means. So mat width apart, and we're coming towards our squat malasana. Finding your feet really firm on the ground first. So land your, let's see if you have space.
This already hurts.
Land your feet on the ground and really have your legs bent so that your hands can touch the ground. Start to feel your legs. So bending and straightening. See if you can start to feel like your heel driving, so pushing the heels strongly into the ground to straighten up the legs. And then find that point where you're starting to feel like you're challenging your hips. Slowly lower down. And if you can, maybe lift up. Squeeze your core, open your chest.
Oh.
Bring your hands down, slowly straighten up the legs. So turn your feet so your toes are back parallel with your mat. And start to lift one heel at a time. Nice and slow and controlled, finding muscles. Bending the knees as much as you can, much as you need to so that you can touch the ground. And then lower the heels. Wiggle the feet so they're about hip width apart. Bend the knees deeply. Inhale, rise all the way up. Connect your prayer overhead and bring it down to your heart. You're going to move and breathe just like that. Inhaling up. Exhaling down to our heart. Luffy, you just fidgeting and not doing anything. Inhale up. Bring it down to your heart and pause here. Feel your feet on the ground so toes are not gripping. You should be able to lift them. Roll the weight all the way onto the outside edges of your feet. Roll the weight all the way onto the inside edges of your feet. And then find that place where you have even weight. Cross the whole of the ball of your foot. Bring the toes a little closer together. Bring the knees together. Squeeze the core, sink the hips. You're going to find a chair here. So bring the hands out even with the shoulders. And you move and breathe. So inhale, lift up a little without lifting the hips. Exhale, bring the torso down. Inhale up.
Looking like into my soul. It's kind of creepy.
Trying to keep the legs active, trying not to straighten the legs too much and cheat.
Oh, that's why.
You ever want to know how to cheat, just watch Kaylee. Use your legs. And then bring it back to regular chair, hands to prayer. And if you can, start to bring the weight onto the balls of the feet. Squeezing the legs together. Really strong in the core. And then either staying here, staying in regular chair, or try to squeeze those knees open and closed. Bring it down, slowly lower the heels. Bring it on up. And shimmy out the leg. Can you tap them out?
Shh.
Take a big cleansing breath in. Lay your hands down to your heart with the exhale and pause. Bring the weight onto the right leg and bring the left leg forward without moving the hips too much. So nice strong leg. Lift and hold. Bringing this knee forward, maybe even grabbing. Focusing on your balance. Bring your left hand to your left thigh. Right hand can counterbalance, maybe pushing open, open, open. Push your hand into the thigh into the hand. Squeezing. Bring it back through center. Slide it past the right knee and come to a warrior three. Woo. Breathe and hold.
Your pug's barking at the side. It came up.
And then bring the left knee all the way back up to where you were. Plant it down. Pedal out the feet. Weight onto the left leg. Right leg comes forward. And bring the knee in. Right hand to right thigh. Open up. Back through center. All the way over to warrior three. Slowly back all the way up. And then lower it down. Feet underneath the hips. Inhale, arms up overhead, interlace the fingers. Index fingers remain strong and pointed to the ceiling, straight and pointed to the ceiling, sorry. Get really grounded in the feet. A little bit longer in the torso, and then take the torso all the way over to the right, opening up the left side body. Back through center, all the way over to the left. Back through center, slowly down, prayer to the heart. Bend into the knees just a little bit. Bring both hands to the hips, fingertips down. Draw the elbows back behind you. And back bend just a little. So press the hips forward. Forward, forward, forward. Draw the elbows back, shoulders back, and then start to lean shoulders back. Opening up. Breathing and defying gravity. Glutes are engaged and stomach is also engaged. Find that place where you feel strong and engaged and a little bit challenged, but your breath is still easy. And then slowly bring it back to neutral, hands back to prayer, and shimmy the hips to really loosen and let go. Inhale up, and then this time exhale, swan legged down. Touch the ground. Right foot back, left foot back, high plank. Breathe and hold. Lower the knees. Hips back, child's pose. Slowly bring the upper body up so that you're on your knees and as much weight on your legs as you can handle. We're going to bring our weight into our hands and then slowly bring our left knee up and pull forward so we're opening up the top of the left foot. So stretching, you can sink your hips back. And then slowly switch other leg. And if you're super strong, you can actually just lift back and open up both feet.
It's too confusing for me to stretch like that.
It's just safer on people's knees. And bring it down. Swing your feet out. So wiggle the legs. Get nice and even on the hips. Draw the toes towards the shins. And get really tall in the spine. Squeeze the core. Active legs. And then point and flex. And then take your feet all the way in, all the way out. Big circle. And then slowly make your way back to your backs. Knees in, give yourself a little hug. Rock it side to side, back to where we were. Returning to our breath. Take the knees, make some circles. Feeling your hips. Lower the right foot to the ground, knee up. Take the left leg up towards the ceiling. Trying to keep both hips nice and grounded on the ground. Draw that right heel towards your face. And bring the knee in towards the chest. And allow the right knee to float open to the right side. Right leg opens to the right side. Opening up into the inner thigh. And you can allow the left knee to open up. Just try to keep the hips grounded. And then switch. Right foot comes to the ground. Left heel comes towards your face. Bring up the back of the left leg. And bend the knee. Allow the leg to come open to the left side. Right knee can fall to the right. And then straighten up, finding the space where your inner thigh feels warm, opening. You can move the foot. And the back down. Bring your feet mat width apart and let your knees come in towards each other. See if that feels like it softened your lower back. If it didn't feel like that, maybe you have your heels too close to your glutes. Shift them a little further away. See how that feels. It should feel nice and soft and relaxed on your lower back. Bring your hands to your lower stomach. And find your breath. Start to land back down on the ground. See if you can get your shoulders to land a little more heavy on the ground and maybe take some wiggles in your shoulders. Take out some kinks. Find some space in the shoulders to make them feel more comfortable. And then feel your head on the ground and roll your head, roll your chin side to side. Nice and slow and careful. Feeling your neck, finding tension in your neck and trying to let it go. And then land your chin back towards the ceiling, maybe a little bit higher towards the ceiling, letting the natural curve of your neck happen. See if you can focus on breathing as if you're breathing in from the crown of your head all the way down your spine to your tailbone, and then all the way back up. Imagine that this fresh breath that you're breathing in could gently wrap around each one of your vertebrae, making a little more space, taking away the effects of gravity and time. Perhaps undoing any holding patterns and any tension, simply by breathing in fresh and sweeping away things no longer needed. And then take the legs to almost straight, a little tiny bend in the heel and the knees. Heels are going to press firmly into the ground, and then you're going to flick the toes. So trying to get little wiggles all the way up and down that nice, freshly relaxed spine. Trying to allow your hips and your shoulders to land solidly on the ground. Flicking your toes back and forth. A little rocking. Releasing of tension. Maybe your head is rocking, yes and no. And then suddenly stop and allow the feet to just land. Allow the legs to land. Return to that spine breath, bringing in your breath in an imaginary line through the crown of your head, all the way down to your tailbone, and all the way back up. And if you find any points of tension or any knots or holding patterns, try not to be frustrated. Try to just notice, bring your awareness there. And imagine a little fresh breath sweeping around that tension. On the exhale, sweeping it away little by little. And then if you have any blankets or props you want to use, go ahead and bring your props. So taking a moment to do that check-in that we did at the start of practice. Noticing what's different. Maybe the quality of your mind is a little different. Maybe the quality of your breath. Maybe you're thinking, oh, thank God she's done torturing me, and that's fine too. Is there a place in your physical body where you feel a little more space? Is there a place in your physical body where you feel a little more tension? Maybe it's not that we created more tension, but that we brought awareness to tension that perhaps was already there. And take a few moments to rest on the tension, not with frustration, but just noticing it. Sometimes simply connecting our brain to the tension can help our brain know where to reset. Have you checked the muscles on your face, around your temples, on your forehead, around your eyes, around the jaw? And bring a little more softness in behind the skull. And then bring your awareness to the back of your eyelids. What do you see? And then bring your awareness to your ears, and what do you hear? Trying to take in the sounds, not necessarily without labeling them, but just noticing them, noticing the sounds. And then letting the sounds be. Return back to the back of your eyelids. Noticing what is present here. Noticing as we rest right here behind our eyelids, what are our thoughts doing? Noticing that these constant firings of thoughts in our brain are normal and natural. Is what the brain does. And then see if you can gently start to sink downward towards the sound of your own heartbeat. Knowing that the mind will often draw you back to the fluctuations and the firings. Gently and with kindness, just remind yourself to go a little deeper. Let the mind be as it is. And see if you can tune in to the sound of your own internal hum. Finding the sound of your life force. And if you're at peace in this space, feel free to spend a few more moments here just tuning out my voice. And if you'd like to follow along, we're going to bring our attention to our hands. We're going to apply a mantra to our hands. Move into a mantra meditation. So bringing your thumb and your forefinger to touch Hari. Thumb and middle finger to touch Om. Thumb and ring finger Tat. And thumb and pinky finger Sat. Hari, Om, Tat, 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 Sat. Continue touching each finger and slow it down to any speed that you feel comfortable with. Really focusing on the touch of your fingers and the sound of the mantra in your head. And every time you get distracted, just touching a finger to your thumb, pausing, feeling, and restarting. Hari, Om, Tat, Sat. Hari, Om, Tat, Sat. We've done this before in class, so if you feel more comfortable thinking of 4 things you're grateful for, feel free to do the same thing with your 4 things. And as you're moving through this mantra, if you find that space where your mind suddenly feels like it's drifted in to a blissful place, allow your hands to soften open and bask in that space. Feeling free to return to the mantra, return to the practice anytime that the mind gets distracted and runs away. And then slowly begin to return to the room, to your mat, to your physical body. And gentle movements to the fingers and the toes. And then curl up in a little ball on whichever side is calling to you. Connecting with the fetal position. And the fetal position is a pose that we come to remind ourselves of the time in the womb. Time when all of our needs were met. We had not judged ourselves as negative or positive, parsed ourselves through the duality of life. We were simply a spark of life. And we come to this pose to remind ourselves that that spark of life, our internal bliss, exists within us unchanged by our experiences. Waiting here patiently for us to break down our heart wall and connect within. No matter what is going on outside in the world, there's a little part of us that's connected. A little tiny part of us that's the same. And taking your time, coming on up to a seated position. And bringing your hands to heart space. And taking a moment to connect with bringing your left and right sides to meet in front of your heart. This gesture of accepting ourselves as whole and complete, exactly as we are. Connect with this concept of accepting yourself, wrapping yourself in unconditional love. Sending yourself a little kindness and compassion. And then taking a moment to bring to mind perhaps someone you know that is struggling and might need a little kindness and compassion right now. See them visually in your mind as if they were sitting there next to you. Wrap them in kindness and compassion. And see yourself saying these words. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you live with ease. And then see us as a community saying these words out to our community. May you be happy. May you be healthy and strong. May you live with ease. Thank you so much for practicing with us today. See you next week. I think she was doing that all practice.